So when we walked into the mission field, just like getting off the plane, first of all, it was like just hit with humidity, and it was so hot. And we've been on a plane, I don't know how many hours, like 24 plus hours traveling, and so we were all just like so tired, and then it was so hot, but it was so exciting at the same time. And then we met our mission president, and the APs came and picked us up. We went to the mission office, and we interviewed with the mission president, and I think the mission president's wife as well, like she like did a kind of a health check type thing. And in our mission they have it's like where MacArthur, when they had like a war in the Philippines, and MacArthur landed there in our mission, and so there's this huge sculpture, like statues of MacArthur, and it talks about like because they were like based on that port, and then they left to go to battle, but he turned around and he said, "We shall return," and then they did end up coming back. And so that was like one of the first things we did. All of the people who came from the MTC went with the trainers. We didn't know who our companion was yet, but we went, and our mission president read off this thing. He told us the story, the history behind it, and talked about how we shall return, and he related that to our mission, and it kind of became our mission's motto of like returning with honor. And so then there we stood in a circle, and they like called off, "Sister Dimash, your companion is so and so, and this is your area." And then we went to our areas. I think we slept there that night because our areas are pretty far. And then we went to our areas the next day, and we didn't get there until the nighttime. And we got on this van, which in like the Philippines there's always room for one more, so it's just packed with people. And so I remember like sitting on this van. My trainer was American, but we were like the only white people in there, and I was just like, what am I doing? What's going on? And then we got to our area, and one of the members had prepared this huge meal for us. They had like a dead pig on the table. I think it was a birthday party. And so I just like walked in, and there was just all this food, just this like huge pig, full body, everything. But they were all so nice. I didn't understand anything, but I just remember like feeling at home. Like they were just like so nice and so welcoming and just so hospitable, I guess. I don't know. So my first week of the mission, I loved it. Like, I don't know, just ever since I opened my call, when I got there, when I got to my area, everything just felt right, and I just loved it. And before I even left on my mission, I had been like researching and Googling the Philippines, and so I feel like I already had this deep love for the people, and going into my first area, it just like confirmed everything. And I remember being hot, I remember being tired, I remember being starving all the time, but I also remember there was this one member that would work with us, and like our second day, I think, when we went out, or it was our first day of full work, she came with us. She was just she was just a Relief Society. She was in the Relief Society, just a member. And she came out with us, and she had a referral, and it was one of her son's friends, and his name was Dexter. And he lived, my area was a city. So there was like the main city, Tacloban City, which is where the mission home is. And then Ormoc City is probably the next biggest city in my mission. But it was like the city was right here, and then our ward boundaries were like not the city. And so where he lived, it was right on the beach, and it was just, they call them squatters. It was like just these houses that are just tiny and just like touching each other, and they're just made out of sticks and wood, and they're just tiny. Me and my companion actually wasn't the first time we met him, but like after a couple weeks we were like visiting them, and so there's like the beach, and then their houses are on stilts, just like wood stilts, and we broke through the floor one time. And so yeah, they're like very small and not very sturdy. But so the area, as far as the Philippines, like being what I expected it was in a way, but like I feel like what I expected it was, but then people always said like I wouldn't have expected it to have so much cities, but people would always tell me like when I got there, it was not what I was expecting it because it was a lot nicer. And so I kind of was expecting it to be a little nicer. And so in that way, it was less than I was expecting it from like what people had said. But yeah, I don't know. My first week was, I don't really remember like a whole lot of my first week, but I do remember like those things. I remember those people, and I just remember loving the people. So in the Philippines, they start learning English when they're young in elementary. But unfortunately, my mission is a very, I don't know what you would call it, not very developed mission. And so they have that basis of English, but they're still not very, you can carry on, like in my area at least, you couldn't really carry on a full conversation with most of the people. And so it was nice because they could say like, they would be talking, I couldn't understand anything. My companion, she was American, and so I was just like amazed the whole time, like, how are you understanding this and how are you talking to them? But it was nice also because she was very patient and was like, so this is what they said, this is kind of what the lesson is. I knew how to testify, I knew how to pray, and like that was pretty much it. But the Filipino people are so, I don't even know the word, but they're just so loving and so nice, and they like want you to learn the language, and they love it. They love that you are trying to learn it. And so if you would just say like good morning in their language, they would be like, whoa, she's fluent, like that's so good, and they would just like praise you. And so I think I kind of like felt pretty good about it, even though I couldn't say anything, but because they were so nice about it, and they were just like, you're so good, like, no, you're doing great, it's your first day here and you can say hi, like, wow, that's amazing. And so it was nice because they were super sweet about it, and they had that like English background, so they would be able to say like, this is what dog means, or this is what that means, and so they would like help you with like pretty basic things.